record. Situational comedy, Vinny and the Detective here on WIS. But now that we've come to find ourselves on the backside of the evening, on the darkest moonless night, here in what would be the time slot for the Call of Cthulhu Mystery Program, it's my duty, nay, privilege, to welcome you to the final installment of Podfriends Month, an occasion where, in the absence of our auspicious and audacious audio drama, we share our airwaves with some of our favorite creators and collaborators to give you a taste of shows we love, which we hope you'll love too. If you've haplessly wandered onto this particular radio station tonight, well, my friend, now, perhaps more than ever, you're in the right place. Because tonight I present to you The Wanderer, a rambling, musical journey deep into the wilds of love and longing. Perhaps you're familiar with the Dreamlands, the realms where the likes of Randolph Carter, Velvet Bow, and countless others sojourn through strange wildernesses. This is a journey not unlike those, but perhaps a bit more intimate, more heartrending, because in the world of the Wanderer, if you walk the roads through the forest, your soul will slowly wither. If you cut through the forest will cut you back. But to wander is to move through the natural pathways of the forest, to travel through its veins, and to follow its breathing. And for this titular wanderer, surrendering himself to the forest's whims may be the only way to find his love, Andrew, and to get him home safe. For those of you wondering when you'll get an update on the Call of Cthulhu Mystery Program, the stars are aligning. Soon, my friends. I hate to be vague, but soon. The producers tell me that they've got many machinations still being tightened and assembled, like a complex trap. When that trap is ready to be sprung, you won't know what hit you. So in the meantime, I can only offer a calming, assuring, perhaps a little foreboding, soon. Of course, if you want soon to be now, our supporters over at patreon.com/omniversemedia are privy to all kinds of forbidden knowledge, and a front row seat to what's to come. But as for here and now on WIS, as Podfriends Month comes to a close, I'll once again invite you to cozy up with these new acquaintances in audio drama excellence. Time well spent when whiling away long winter nights. For our friend the Wanderer, you can subscribe via your favorite podcast app and find further details at callofthewanderer.com. Now, step with us into this deep night. Let the sense of the forest fill you. And join us by the fire, won't you?
Those that travel through the forest know that there are 3 types of path you can follow. The first are the trails, the roads, the cuts that have scarred over, etched along the forest floor to make traversal easy. I've nothing against those who take the roads. If it's getting where you're going and not the going itself, so be it. At least they aren't the ones doing the cutting. Don't cause more damage in their going about. No, the distinction of the smallest sliver of my disquiet belongs to the group who takes the second path. The bushwhackers, or the one-man cutters, as the old ones called them. Sometimes it's about getting to the end faster, other times it's about seeing more of the scenery. And still there are those who think this way is braver, the more adventurous route. They think they're so special, forging their own path, pioneering, discovering the undiscovered. There's nothing undiscovered out here. Maybe undiscovered by them, but the provision of having been perceived by a man means very little to the forest. The old ones called it a one-man cut because it's just that. Sure, they don't take down any trees or pack the dirt so tight even the weeds can't grow, but they leave behind a trail of broken twigs and trampled fauna. And a cut is a cut is a cut. You'd think a beauty as big as the forest wouldn't mind a little cut, and really, she's fine. But she can't make a habit of letting cuts go unpunished, else there'd be no more forest. It's one thing to take the old scarred-over roads, but cut the forest fresh, and the forest will cut you back. So, how then is a man supposed to travel through the forest? I'll tell you. The third path. The hardest to traverse, or so they say. How would they know? As best I can tell, I'm the only one who does it anymore. I'm probably the only one who's done it in hundreds of years. The problem with the roads and the bushwhacks is that they stem from the idea that traversal of the forest is a uniquely human endeavor, and that only man knows best how to get through the forest. As if there weren't many creatures here before us, as if there weren't other men here before us, as if the forest hadn't already provided the perfect paths. These paths are as old as the forest herself, and as new as the winds and rains that ever bend them. They are the arteries, the airwaves, the means by which the forest takes her deep, long breaths. Without these paths, there would be no forest at all. And when you're keen, when you learn to hear the forest breathe, you can follow those paths. And moving along one, it's like flying. Not a branch cracks, not a flower is trampled. Your feet barely touch the forest floor. To the townsfolk and travelers, they're whispers and legends. Stories told once, long ago, round a crackling campfire. Fairy tales they heard as children that helped them dream sweet and safe. But the old ones had a name for these paths. The Wanders. Which makes me the last of the Wanderers. It's not a name that I wear with any sort of distinction or honor. I take no pride in it. I mention it only so you understand why I go for very long stretches without ever seeing another soul. Of course, the wander isn't easy. All things in the forest are balanced. Traveling the roads will wear a person down in a specific way. There's only so long you can move through a scar without having to pay by part of your soul. But you'll get where you're going with relative ease. The bushwhack is hard in the way that anyone who decides to follow their ego will eventually find themselves in a trap built of their own hubris. The wander is easiest on the limbs, the most natural, but harder on the mind. You don't really belong in the veins of a forest, and the forest knows it. Along the wander, you're tested. Tested for what you are, and tested for what you are not. They're not easy tests either. But I think you should know something before we continue. I'm not the hero of this story. In fact, this story doesn't have a hero. This story has a wanderer who will be tested, who will pass, who will fail, will be left to wonder if they passed or failed, or if they were ever really tested at all. I'm not going to save anyone here, least of all myself. But I've made a deal with the forest. I've agreed to wander. To wander as long as I can, as long as the forest wants. I don't completely understand what she wants with me, but I wander because it's the only way I have to keep the person I love most safe. I wander because it's the only way I'm gonna get him back. It's the least I can do. It's the only thing I can do. If I tried to go where the trees are cut low, the path wouldn't lead me to you. If I tried to go cut a trail of my own, the path wouldn't lead me to you. So I wander, I wander, I wander my way to you. So I wander, I wander, I wander my way to you. At the long road's end, there is just another bend. The road never leads me to you. What is cut you cannot mend. When you meet the forest's end, the forest will just keep me from you. So I wander, I wander, I wander my way to you. So I wander, I wander my way to you. When you choose the ease of road, the toll is your soul, and the toll will keep me from you. When you cut the greater toll, the forest eats you whole, and there will be no me to lead to you. So I wander, I wander, I wander my way to you. So I wander, I wander, I wander my way to you.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of The Wanderer. If you want to keep wandering with us, you can listen to the next episode right now by searching for The Wanderer on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find out more about The Wanderer at www.callofthewander.com. The Wanderer is written and performed by T.H. Ponders, produced by Jordan Stillman, with show art by V. Silverman. Created by Ponders Productions, a member of the Fable and Folly Network.